Your Honor, if I may please.
Well, you cannot. You're not allowed. I'm going, yes.
To explain why I cite him out of order. Because he manifested that the previous records, it is taken out of records, and as resource person, they are not allowed. For
Your
that.
Honor, I am
Please,
going to be
I am
detained
still
in this
speaking.
chamber, and
I
I am
am still-
submitting myself before the country in protest. My
Mr. Chair,
point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Mr. Chair,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay. Pauline. Okay. There's a point of order, the Honorable Dan Fernandez. The Honorable Dan.
Mr. Chairman, point of, Mr. Chairman.
out of order is all about your manifestation to stake on out. Patapusin mo ako.
The Honorable.
Huwag ka may bastos. Patapusin mo ako. Mr. Chairman, I will just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I'm saying is, and what I'm pointing out of order is the manifestation that the previous statement, the previous record should be taken out of order.
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
He's
Chairman.
not allowed to do it.
Point of order.
Honorable Dan Fernandez. So the point of order.
May we remind the resource speakers and the members of this committee to observe the proper decorum.
Correct.
If the chairman acknowledge a certain personality, let him speak and
Yes.
don't interrupt the
Correct.
the members of this committee while
Correct.
the member is given the right to speak. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
the Honorable
Chair.
Dan Fernandez. Honorable Akop is recognized.
Mr. Celis, please be reminded that in this committee and this house, we have
Mr.
rules
Celis.
to follow. Hindi po ba namin sinusunod yung mga rules? Matanong ko nga po.
Yes, sir. I feel
Oo,
that
and
is my.
I would like to remind you
Mm.
that these rules are supposed to be followed by members of this committee and by the witnesses or resource persons to be present. And one of these rules is that before you can speak, you ask permission from the chairman. Kami nga, hindi kami nagsasalita na walang permission yung chairman. You better follow that rule. Otherwise, baka mapilitan akong gawin yung hindi ko dapat gawin. Thank you.
The
Your Honor.
Honorable,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair,
wait, I think the Honorable Ace Barbers.
I was raising a point of order earlier, but
I'm
Congressman
sorry, I
Akop-
didn't hear you that.
It's
Well,
okay,
my
Mr.
apologies.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, kasi gusto ko lang i-refresh yung memory ng ating resource person na no one is curtailing your right. In fact, kaya ka nga nandito, binibigyan ka ng panahon, ng oras para magsalita. But do not play to the crowd saying that your rights are violated in this committee. It's not. Tayo ay nasa demokrasya, di ba? I believe you were a former member of the NPA. Di ba? And alam mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban natin dito, di ba? So, never, ever insult the committee, much more any of the members of this committee. Kasi medyo yun ang affront. Yun ang affront sa amin. And do not challenge us to do what we feel is right to do to you because you might not like it. I am just going to remind him of that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Honorable Ace Barbers. Any
Mr.
other
Chair.
member that would like to speak?
I believe that this is an aid or an inquiry in aid of legislation, and resource persons should be reminded that they should observe proper
Correct.
decorum. I'd just like to remind all the resource persons that under Section 11, this inquiry, or for that matter, Congress has the power to contempt. The committee may punish any person for contempt by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, there being a quorum. And there are 6 grounds for contempt. One of which is letter E, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member of the committee or any misbehavior in the presence of the committee. So, Mr. Chair, we do not want to cite a resource person for contempt Kaya nakikiusap kami sa iyo, ka Eric, na kung pwede, please respect this committee and observe proper decorum. Nasa rules po natin na you cannot speak if you are not recognized by the chair. Actually, naka-strike one na po kayo, ka Eric. Kanina, you were not recognized by the chair but you kept on talking. So again, may I advise ka Eric, we are not suppressing your rights, but also respect this committee and observe proper decorum.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, if I may continue.
There was a question raised by the Honorable Suarez. Alam po ninyo, kay Eric, kung meron po kayong karapatan, may karapatan din pong committee. Lahat po tayo may karapatan dito. So ang tanong ho, yes or no? May tanong ho si Congressman J.J. Suarez. Huwag na ho natin pahabain. Yes or no?
I will refuse to answer, Your Honors, not because I disrespect this committee, but I will invoke my right guaranteed by the Constitution because I believe this committee cannot be above the law, especially the Constitution. Mr.
Can I just
Honorable
Mr. Chair,
J.J. Suarez.
Yes. What right is that you are invoking, Mr. Celis?
The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees me for the guarantee of due process and even the Soto law and even the House rules.
Yes.
Constitutionally guaranteed rights, Your Honor, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, cannot
Mr.
be violated by any branch of the government.
Ka Eric, may katanungan. Is that
Mr.
clear?
Mr. Chair-
Alam po ninyo, ka Eric, meron ba kayo kasamang abogado na yun?
May I answer?
Opo.
That's why I am requesting since last hearing that I may be given the counsel. Now,
Alam po
I will
ninyo,
hire,
Alam mo, if you keep going back, last year, ang tanong ko na yun.
I will hire
Wag-
Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Soplico as my personal choice
Okay.
to do
So,
legal counsel.
Everything
for me.
that you say now is guided by your lawyer, who's
Yes.
also here.
Not yet, sir, because they are not, Mr. Chairman, permitted and granted authority to be recognized as my legal counsel. That's why I'm requesting. I'm hiring today, this afternoon, Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Soplico.
Are the lawyers accepting that mandate? Because you remember, in the last hearing, you manifested that you are not representing Ka Eric and the anchors because of the disclaimer issue. Are you accepting?
I'm accepting, Your Honor.
Yarat sa inyo lahat.
Attorney Rolex Suplico.
I am accepting, Your Honor.
Okay, so thank you very much. So everything that we will say, go, no, Ka Eric, may abogado na po kayo. Yes or no?
May I request again,
Yes.
Congressman Honorable J.G. Suarez to rephrase the
Chair.
question,
Ayun.
please.
Now, with the presence of your lawyer, it's just, a little bit ironic that in the past few days, you've been on air talking about the hearing, talking about your opinions on about the hearing, and together with Attorney Mark Tolentino, I think there was a few episodes na magkasama pa kayong dalawa. So you're very vocal and you're very opinionated about your position. And last hearing, I just want to remind you, you apologized to the committee because the statements that you issued in your show kasama ang bayan, tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your
Laban
Honor.
kasama ang bayan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Inamin nyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo, ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi nyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi nyo, kinonfirm nyo na lalaki na taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na ang nagsasabi, hindi na ito nanggagaling sa amin, although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth, and nothing is more important than the truth. So I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
May I qualify, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to speak?
Yes, but before that, I'd like to remind you and the lawyers that under Section 13, the participation of counsel in this hearing for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall be limited to advising the legal rights of the witness. Is that clear, Attorney Tolentino and Attorney Suplico?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
that will only limited to that. Wala ho tayong coaching dito, ha? Yes. Eric.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition.
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Suarez, sir.
Please answer straight
Yeah.
directly, ha? Wala ho tayong paligoy-ligoy na sagot ho dito.
Mr. Chair, can I
Okay.
can I say something
Yes.
before you proceed?
Point of
you.
order.
Yeah. No,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no,
Please.
just want to be enlightened. What is your decision regarding the prior motion made by Congressman Paduano on,
Well, the
There's a
motion was
motion,
a
there's a
point of
motion.
order.
no,
He only made the point of order. So he was declaring him out of
thank you,
order.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes, proceed. Yes or no?
Yeah, thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Please answer directly, ha? Huwag po tayo masyadong
I
lumayo.
will not answer it because I am protected by law as per advice in conference with my lawyers here. I am protected by the Soto law. Unless the Soto law is repealed, I will be under the protection of the Soto law. Republic Act number 53.
Mr. Chair. Okay.
And the previous statements made, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, please, were made without the competent advice of legal counsel. That's why I was requesting humbly for this honorable committee chaired by Congressman Tambunting that all those testimonies regarding the testimonies I made here can be stricken off the record if it may be considered as a request. Because those are inadmissible.
Alam nyo, lagi nyo sinasabi yung Soto law, eh. Ano pong portion ng Soto law ang tinutukoy ho nyo? Anong particular provision sa Soto law? Pakibasa po.
I will, Mr. Chairman, I will request my counsel to give me the particular provision or they may be allowed to reference the particular
No, we are
provision.
requesting you.
I don't have the copy of the Soto
Then
law.
I will suggest that the council give him a
Yeah.
copy of the Soto law. Because we do not, you're only supposed to, like I said earlier, hindi ho kayo pwede magsalta. Yan magsalta si Eric.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to read the pertinent provision from the Soto law? Without prejudice, this is section 1 of 1145 as amended. Without prejudice, is inability or ability under the civil and criminal laws, any publisher, owner, or duly recognized or accredited journalist, whether reporter, writer, contributor, opinion writer, editor, columnist, manager of media, or other media practitioner involved in the writing, editing, production, and dissemination of news or mass circulation of any print, broadcast, wire service organization, or electronic mass media, including cable TV, television, and its variants, cannot be compelled to reveal the source of any news item, report, or information appearing or being reported or disseminated through other or the said media which was related in confidence or reported in confidence. Above mentioned media practitioners, unless the court or the House of Representatives or the Senate or any committee of Congress finds that such revelation is demanded by the national security of the state.
Eric,
Your Honor,
pero may magkaroon ng po-chair para ho maliwanag.
Mr. Chairman, can I explain the
No.
provision?
I will have to answer first the position raised by the witness. Ang unang sinabi nyo, accredited journalist. Kayo ba'y accredited journalist? Kay Eric, kayo pong tinatanong po. Kayo po ba'y accredited journalist?
The accreditation or the license to practice journalism does not require any particular organization or government entity to give us license or accreditation for broadcast. If you are referring, Mr. Chairman, to KBP, membership to KBP is voluntary. KBP is not an absolute regulatory power for broadcast.
So ano
We are like an NGO and private organization.
ano pong basihan nyo, basihan ng provision niyan, nung sinabi niya kailangan accredit, kayo nag-cite ng batas. Kayo nag-cite ng prohibition.
Mr. Chairman,
Accredited journalist, hindi ho kayo, sino dapat mag-accredit sa inyo?
Smni is an accredited and franchise-granted media. And therefore, the prerogative in the decision for editorial decision who can broadcast or cannot broadcast in their station rests with the franchise granted to them. Therefore, hindi po kami required na maghingi ng pahintulot sa gobyerno na mag-broadcast kami doon. Dahil kami po ay bahagi ng isang media organization na may legitimate existence as granted by franchise.
Yes, but remember, may disclaimer. Ang sabi ng SMNI, hindi po nila pananagutan ang gagawin nyo. At hindi na nga raw kayo empleyado, sabi nila. So, ergo, hindi ho namin agad-agad kaya tanggapin yung inyong mungkahi. Pangalawa, I would like to remind you that this is a house inquiry, which is provided for by the SOTO law. And third, tatanungan ko, security of state, binanggit nyo. Ano po ibig nyo? Ito ba yung security of state? Tingin nyo itong isyong to, which is an exception?
Ang 1.8 billion na pagtatanong ko po, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, ay hindi po threat to national security. Kapag ito po ay tinatanong ng mga media practitioners at ng mamamayan patungkol sa tamang pangangalaga sa pondo ng bayan. And I believe Congress is not exempted from public transparency and accountability in the disposal of public funds.
Alam po
Thank
ninyo,
you
It's
very-
not an issue
Mr.
of
Chair, I think I
national
still have
security.
the floor.
yes,
Yes.
huling katanungan, alam po yung security of state sa amin. Ito po yung sinabi nyo na empleyado ng Senado ang nagbigay. Sa amin, yan po ay seguridad ng ating institusyon, seguridad ng ating bayan. So kaya po, ito po ay hindi nyo po pwede i-cite ang SOTO law. Mabuti po, malaman nyo na po ang posisyon. At ito'y pinag-aralan po natin, may abogado po kayo, meron din po kami mga abogado dito, may mga researchers po kami. At ang SOTO law ay hindi po applicable dito sa sinasite nyo. Sa tatlong tinanong ko, pare-pareho, hindi ho pa pwede yan. The Honorable J.J.
Thank you very
Suarez,
much.
you are recognized.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So let's just go back to points that have already been established. Number one, the statement that you issued were false. You admitted it and you apologized for it last hearing. Number two, you mentioned that your source is from Senate. And Caselis, Mr. Celis, the law that you have just stated that you sought to use to protect your right and not to reveal your source apparently has been ruled cannot be applied. So therefore, I'm asking you again, dahil may kinalaman na to, may mabigat po ang kinalaman ang repercussions nito You're talking about interparliamentary relationships between the House of Representatives and between the Senate. And none other than the Senate President has already issued a statement about this. So I don't think you see the gravity of the statements that you have issued between both houses in Congress. Now, Mr. Celis, for the last time, please identify your source.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to answer?
Mr. Chair, this is the fourth time I asked Mr. Celis this question. And every time I asked him his question, ang laki ng introduction, wala pa rin yung sagot. Pwede po ba this time, pag pinagbigyan natin siya magsalita, sabihin niya na po yung pangalan?
Kasi kung mag-introduction lang kayo, tapos i-cite nyo na naman, dinisalaw ko na. Sinasabi ko na hindi namin kayang tanggapin yung SOTO law for this particular issues. And we provided the basis for that too. Sa mga binigkas yung provision, doon ko mismo hinugot ko yung argumento namin. Ngayon, kung hindi ko yung sasagot, we will not allow you anymore. Kasi nagre-request si Congressman Suarez ng kasagutan, pangalan ang kailangan niya.
Mr. Chairman,
Magbibigay po kayo mo ng pangalan o hindi?
may I request that I be allowed to confirm with my legal counsel, please?
O they're right beside you. They can confirm.
Yeah. May I request for at least a
Yes.
1-minute conference with them?
Please.
Hindi to, mga kababayan, tutok tayo. Dami nagko-comment sa inyo, no? Yung
Sir Chairman?
practice ng bureau.
May I
Session
be recognized
resumes.
again, please?
Okay, please proceed.
In our constitutional democracy,
Hindi.
only the courts can interpret the laws, not Congress.
Okay.
So
Salamat
I will
po.
not answer that question because I believe Congress does not have the right to interpret laws.
Okay.
It
Mr.
is
Chair,
with
Mr. Chair.
Congress to pass laws, not to interpret laws.
Salamat po.
I make back my statements previously.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, the Honorable Toby Chanco is recognized.
Mr. Chair, in the sense of fairness, since we really want to know the source, para malaman natin kung ano talaga yung pinagkakalat nito, would we allow Mr. Celis, Eric, to reveal the source in executive session? Would the chair allow?
Yes, Eric. It's an executive session, an option for you. There's a suggestion by the Honorable Toby Chanco of Navotas na kung ayaw niyo po sabihin sa harap ng camera at sa publiko, okay lang ba, executive session? We will call for executive session now. Para lahat ho ng options ay binigay na po namin sa inyo. Eric.
That would be very dangerous for other media practitioners present here because it will create a very dangerous and negative precedence on the protection of source provided by law. I will refuse still. Your Honor,
Salamat,
due to
salamat
respect.
po.
Mr.
Salamat
Chair,
po tayo. The Honorable Toby Chanco is still recognized for a follow-up question.
No, I just wanted to manifest that the reason that we're suggesting an executive session is to show na tayo naman, hindi naman tayo, na binibigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon na i-reveal. Kung talagang gusto niya pangalagaan, at least an executive session. But it seems ayaw niya pa rin po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, it is very clear that Mr. Celis does not want to answer the question to reveal the source, whether in this inquiry or in executive session. So therefore, Mr. Chair, under Section 11, the power to contempt, letter E, grounds for contempt is for a resource person refusal to answer any relevant inquiry. Actually, Mr. Chair, Mr. Celis has already violated two provisions of Section 11. The first one, acting in a disrespectful manner, and the second one, which is very more important rather, is his refusal to answer the question in a relevant inquiry. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to contempt, to cite for contempt Mr. Celis for on these two grounds under Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
Second the motion.
There's a motion,
Your-
duly seconded. Any objections from any member
Mr. Chairman,
of this committee? There being no objections, on a
Mr. Chairman.
unanimous vote,
Mr.
the
Chairman.
Eric is cited for
Mr.
contempt.
Chairman, may I be recognized?
Ask the Sergeant of Arms to please
Mr. Chairman,
take on.
Mr. Chair,
Eric.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Can we request the Sergeant at Arms to practice his responsibility after the hearing? Because there's still other details that.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair,
point of order. The motion was for Mr. Celis to be cited in contempt. And I think there's supposed to be a second motion. Yes. No, the motion should be for him to be detained. Where? Because under our law, the contempt of the committee shall be deemed contempt of the House. The person cited in this section may, upon order of the committee, be detained in such place as the chairperson or acting chairperson may designate. In other words, we have to decide where to detain him and for how long, Mr. Chair. That's supposed to be the second motion.
Mr. Chair, I believe with regards to the duration, it will be up to this committee to decide, and of course, to Mr. Celis, kung kailan po niyo sasagutin yung tanong natin, and then maybe we could lift the contempt. But as long as hindi pa niya sinasagot yung tanong natin, the contempt will remain.
Mr. Chairman, final statement before niyo po ako ikulong.
Mr. Chair, I move for
Can I have a
a
final statement, please? Before po ako magpapakulong, I request the committee.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Chairman,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In an earlier motion, Mr. Chair, we have already approved to cite for contempt Mr. Celis. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to detain him in the premises of Congress as per our rules on Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
The motion.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee, may be given 1 minute,
Chairman,
please?
in relation to the motion,
Oh.
can I have,
Because it is
Honor-
required.
the Honorable
two-thirds of the
Paduano.
voto.
The Honorable Paduano is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, ang ano lang, point of inquiry lang, kasi we are not allowed to have a detention for indefinite period of time. So we have to establish how long. And the lifting of such detention will depend on the members of this committee, of course, with the cooperation of the person in contempt. So we have to establish how long, because we are not allowed to detain indefinite based on so many jurisprudence, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Akop is recognized.
Yes, there's a decision by the Supreme Court that we cannot detain a person indefinitely. And therefore, may I move that we come up with a definite period for detention insofar as Mr. Celis is concerned. For violation of paragraph C of section 11 of the rules.
Nakalagay doon, 10 days na 10 days. 10 days na nakalagay. 10 days lang. The Honorable Akop, would you like to make a motion?
May I move that Mr. Celis be detained for being cited in contempt for violation of section 11, paragraph C, refusal to answer any relevant inquiry by the members of this committee for a period of 30 days.
Mr. Chairman? Hindi ko pa sila.
He will go on break on December 30 unless he files a motion for reconsideration. We have done this in the different committees already. in this
Mr.
Congress.
Chair,
There's a motion. The Honorable Committee.
the reason why we cited Mr. Celis for contempt is because he does not want to answer
Question.
the question. That is precisely why he violated paragraph C. So why will we give him a timeline Eh kung kahit na hindi pala siya sumagot, papalabasin natin si Mr. Celis. The reason why we cited him for contempt, eh gusto nga natin nasagutin niya yung relevant inquiry natin, nasagutin niya kung sino yung source niya. So I believe that we should not give a timeline, Mr. Chair.
No,
After
Mr. Chairman,
citing
Mr. Chairman.
the jurisprudence, Mr. Chair, I submit to the wisdom of this committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Yun na. Nag-ano sila mga kababayan, didebate sila rito. Dahil ayan, biglang biglang nagpalit ng ano. Hindi mo na pinakita. Mga kababayan, ano ho, mga bago lang dating, mukhang pinag-uusapan nila na hindi po yata po pwede. May nag-motion, no? Na hindi po pwede yung walang kaukulang araw kung kailan at ilan, no? Ayon kasi sa mayroon na pong itong decision sa Supreme Court. Ayon dito sa mga congressman na Congressman Acop at saka itong isa na katabi ni Congressman Acop, no? Kasi ang gusto nitong si Congressman Pimentel, mga kababayan, ay tuloy-tuloy, no? Hanggat hindi daw nagsasabi or sumasagot itong si Celis, Eric, no? So ayan, ang nagiging latest dito mga kababayan. Tutok po tayo. Grabe, mukhang iba-iba na po ang mga ng ating mga kababayan. Medyo ayaw ko na pong magdagdag po ng ayaw ko na pong magdagdag ng iba pang mga pananalita. Kalma po tayo mga kababayan, ganito po talaga ang buhay, ano ho? Sabi nga ni Irap nung araw, panapanahon lang yan. Panapanahon lang po yan mga kababayan, ano ho? Kalma lang po tayo, kalma, relax. At alam ko may mga ganito na akong nakita na kahit ganyan pa po nagkakaroon po ito ng baliktaran na pag-ano. Dahil kamukha niyan, halimbawa pag hindi po, ito ano ko lang mga napanood ko lang, na-observe ko lang nung araw. Na pagka mukhang hindi ka binibigyan ng ng chance na magsalita para ipagtanggol ang iyong sarili, ay violation din yan sa atin pong saligang batas. At kung parang nararamdaman mo, kaya nga po mga kababayan may tinatawag na certiorari, no? Parang malalayo lang tayo ng konti, Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat mga kababayan. Napalive po tayo bigla. At hindi nga tayo ready, hindi pa nga tayo nakapag-makeup kanina, ano ho? At ito na po ang update ngayon mga kababayan, mukhang masasight in contempt na po nag-motion na po ang mga congressman na i-cite in contempt nga po ito si Eric sa pamumuno nga ni Congressman Pimentel, mga kababayan. Siya po ang nag-motion dito dahil paulit-ulit pong tinatanong ni Congressman Suarez ng Quezon, mga kababayan, na gusto talagang sabihin or iladlad ni Eric ang source niya kung sino talaga. Ayan po ang nagiging update dito mga kababayan. Tutok po tayo. Biglaan po ang bigla ko na lang nakita Katatapos ko lang kumain nakita ko na kaagad ito. Kalma na lang muna Sir BMR, baka ikaw naman ang ipatawag diyan. Bigla ka na lang i-contempt. Russell Cabrera. Oo nga mga kababayan, kalma po tayo, kalma, no? Sa atin po mga comment, kalma po tayo. After all, mayroon pa muna po tayo mga batas, no? Mayroon pa po tayo mga batas. Asa pa po tayo sa mga batas po. Asahan po natin ang nakalatag sa atin bansa. Tingnan nyo, biglang parang private session, no? Kasi naka-live po ito mga kababayan, so alam nila na marami po ang nakatutok ng live, no? Good afternoon sa iyo, Ma'am JC Lakwata, Spike Limbo, Sniper, no? Laban kay Eric, sabi ni Brad Pitts, no? Tutok po tayo mga kababayan, matindi po ito, no? Talagang first time po natin makapanood ng ganito. Kasi nung araw, ako po medyo may edad-edad na rin naman po tayo. Nakakapanood po tayo nung araw ng mga Senate hearing. Andun pa nga dati si Senator Miriam na talaga naman napakatapang, di ba? Napakatapang in the sense na talagang marunong talaga kung ano ang mga pasikot-sikot ng batas. So bawat parang nakikita ko ngayon si Congressman Acop parang ganun na ganun kay may hawig ng kay Senator Miriam. Talagang every single details nasasabi niya kaagad. Mga kababayan, napapansin niyo ba si Congressman Acop? Mabuti na lang din dito kahit paano sa akin lang mga kababayan. Again, hindi ko po pinagtatanggol si Congressman Acop. Rinirelay ko lang po sa inyo ang nangyari Kasi po, nung ang motion po ni
Before, I
Congressman
acknowledge the
Pimentel na
Honorable,
sinang-ayunan po,
Pimentel,
ayun na,
the due process was given to the witness and he was allowed to speak. And he cited his grounds why, as a matter of fact, we gave him so much airtime that he manifested his refusal to the question of the Honorable Suarez 4 times. And so, that being said, the chair would like to call the Honorable Pimentel to manifest his the motion on the time frame.
Mr. Chair, I would like to amend my previous motion. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move to detain Mr. Celis for he was cited in contempt until the adoption of the committee report at the plenary session, Mr. Chair. So move.
Okay, so that is also an amendment to the motion of the Honorable Akop early on. There's a motion amending the motion of the Honorable Akop. Any second? Seconded? The chair hearing no objection, the chair adopts and approves the motion of the Honorable Johnny Pimentel. So the Sergeant of Arms is hereby directed to enforce the decision of this committee. Maraming
Mr. Chair,
salamat.
can I make a comment, Mr. Chair?
Session suspended. Attorney to
ayun na po mga kababayan. Pagkatapos po ng parang nag-break sila at mukhang nagkaroon lang po yata ng private conversation muna sila doon inano sa live, pinag-usapan at mukhang tiningnan talaga kung ano ang magiging parang finalis lang nila mga kababayan kung anong kanilang decision. Ayun po, site contempt po ngayon si Ka Eric mga kababayan dahil po sa hindi niya pagre-reveal kung sino po ang source niya mga kababayan. Medyo nakakaramdam po tayo ng takot nakakaramdam po tayo ng takot sa ganitong kasi mukhang pipilitin talaga nilang malaman kung sinong source. Bakit ba mga kababayan, hindi ba tayo pwedeng makapagpilit din sa kanila magtanong? Mga kababayan, hindi rin ba tayo pwedeng magtanong sa kanila na buksan din nila ang mga libro nila para malaman din ng taong bayan?
To brief Attorney Tolentino of the House Rules. You're very much aware and well versed with the rules of this House.
because Attorney Suprico used to be implemented some of the rules that we are now implementing. As a matter of fact, in one of the invitations that he was the resource person, sabi ko nga, nung bata ako, narinig ko ng pangalan na Rolex Suprico. Elementary pa lang ako. Ganyan ho kasikat yan. Kaya lahat ng ginagawa namin, si Atty. Suprico rin ho, alam ho niya lahat yan. Okay? Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, we now proceed.
I think I still do have the floor.
Still with the Honorable J.J. Suarez.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, can the chair please reiterate the due process that the committee followed in relation to the contempt order that was issued against Mr. Celis? Isa-isa lang natin para klaro.
Well, there was he was allowed to speak. 4 times you asked the question. The Honorable Suarez asked the question. 4 times he refused to reply. And the Honorable Chanco even afforded him a executive session. And again, he refused. So obviously, he will refuse to answer any question that the Honorable Suarez will ask. And he would always cite a law which is unacceptable to this committee because it does not, it is not the intent of that law
Okay.
he cannot hide under that law.
Thank you
That's
very
what the
much.
committee is saying.
Yeah, the reason why I asked Mr. Chair is because, going back to our last
And
hearing.
lastly, He was given a counsel.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
last hearing kasi, inamin niya na mali yung source niya at humingi na siya ng paumanhin. So para gamitin pa yung SOTO law, it's not anymore applicable to him because sinabi niya ng mali. Ang hinihingi na lang natin kung sino. Kung sino dahil may kinalaman po ito sa relasyon ng mababang kapulungan at ng Senado. At pati po Senado, I won't be surprised kung kayo po ay magpupumilit na hindi magsasabi ng totoo, I won't be surprised if the Senate might conduct their own inquiry into this matter as well. Because you have already involved the Senate into this misinformation and fake news. So, Attorney Tolentino, as counsel to Mr. Celis, are you willing to cooperate with the committee?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Earlier, I was a little bit offended. Your client stood up and uttered some words. Are you supportive with that, with your clients?
I'd like to
Do you
apologize.
do you share the same sentiment as your client, Attorney Tolentino?
What statement, Mr. Chair?
When he called the court the kangaroo court, when he called this committee a kangaroo,
Maybe that's his opinion, Mr. Chair.
and you do not share it,
No, Mr. Chair.
do you think it is right?
I cannot answer that, Mr. Chair, because I believe still there is attorney-client privilege. I cannot talk if not authorized by a client, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So anyway, Mr. Tolentino, as counsel to Mr. Celis, would you be kind enough to share with us any information regarding the source of that misinformation, fake news that SMNI broadcasted in your television show?
I have no personal knowledge that, Mr. Chair.
Dr. Badoy, would you have any knowledge on who the source is?
Mr. Chair, no knowledge at all.
Do you know Mr. Celis's phone number?
Phone number. Yeah, I have his number here.
Would you be kind enough to share it with this committee?
Am I allowed? Mr. Chairman, could I ask my lawyers if I could do that?
Yes, I mean,
It's in the guest list. Alright, so I'll give it. Okay, so I'm allowed. Okay. Mr. Chair, it's in the guest list outside. Yeah, all of us.
again,
Can you just,
The number, Mr.
Okay,
can
Chair.
you just tell us the number, please?
Okay, hold on.
As requested by the Honorable Suarez.
Yeah, okay. Right now, Mr. Chair. Mr.
Yes.
Chair, it's 09.
Sige, please. Can you please, approach?
Yan mga kababayan, tutok lang po tayo.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the reason why I asked for those phone numbers is other than citing the source of Mr. Celis emanating from the Senate, he mentioned that he also received a text message supporting that claim on Monday. And if I'm not mistaken, the date would have been November 27, but I'll have to check my records. Mr. Chair, can I move to subpoena the text messages of that phone number? Just to know whether or not meron po ba talagang pumasok na text na nagsasabi na ganito kalaking kahalaga ang ginastos ng House of Representatives. Kasi kung lalabas sa phone records na walang text at ayaw sabihin ni Mr. Celis yung pangalan, maaaring gawa-gawa lang itong mga pinag-uusapan natin dito at walang basehan. So, Mr. Chair, I move that we subpoena the messages from these two phone numbers on the specific date when those broadcasts was aired on SMNI. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion by the Honorable David J.J. Suarez, seconded by the Honorable Vice Chair Johnny Pimentel. Any objections? The chair, any objections? The motion is approved. We will now proceed. Okay, now. we can proceed to other-
Yes, just for the information of the body, Mr. Chair, it is on 11/27, November 27, 2023, and the show was aired, I think at 10 in the 10 in the evening, correct? Morning, 10 in the morning. So, with that being said, Attorney Tolentino, can I just ask, nasa na po yung,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
yes, yung presidente ng SMNI?
Mr. Chair, actually he wants to come here, Mr. Chair, but he has he's sick right now, Mr. Chair. I have with me a medical certificate, Mr. Chair.
So, but you will be speaking on his behalf?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but of course I have a limited authority, Mr. Chair.
So, okay, anyway, Mr. Chair, if I may proceed, just a few questions, and I'll give it to the other congressmen who have more questions.
Thank you.
to ask.
May I ask
Can
if
I
you,
just one question?
yes, before that, when you said you have limited authority, what does that mean?
I am here, Mr. Chair, as legal officer of SMNI.
So,
So I can only talk based on my personal knowledge, Mr. Chair. I cannot talk anything that I do not know, Mr. Chair.
how about the attorney Rolex Suplico? So if he knows half, you should know the other half.
The same, Your Honor, we are only legal officers of SMNI. Mr. Rossetti is the president of SMNI. Definitely, there are information that he knows that we do not know.
Okay, so if you
Thank you, Your
don't, okay, let us make this clear. If we're not satisfied with your answers, then we will call for another hearing in a couple of days just for this issue. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Can,
Honorable Suarez.
can we be kind enough to be given a copy of that medical certificate that you're talking about, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
And now, Mr. Chair. Sana. Okay. Ano? Thanks. Yes. Mr. Chair, the medical certificate is with the secretary who is now with Ka-Eric, Mr. Chair. With the secretary of SMNI who is now with Ka-Eric.
Why is the secretary with Ka-Eric when
We did,
he or she wasn't cited in contempt? That's only Ka-Eric.
She's on the way.
Anyway, pwede nyo naman ibigay siguro mamaya. Para
yes, we will not adjourn this hearing or
So-
suspend it until we get that copy of the certificate. Oh,
Here, Mr. Chair.
thank you,
Oh,
please.
okay, submit na lang. Thank you, Attorney Tolentino. Attorney Tolentino, how long have you been serving as counsel for SMNI?
May more than 2 or 3 years, Mr. Chair.
So in any major decision that the network takes, I'm sure they seek your advice.
Just an advice, Mr. Chair.
Okay, fantastic. I just came across some posts of SMNI partnering with the Chinese government network. Is this correct?
I have no personal knowledge with that, Mr. Chair.
But you're the lawyer of SMNI.
I only know something that is relevant to the investigation, Mr. Chair. I didn't know about that, Mr. Chair.
No, but it's all over the SMNI Facebook, well, SMNI Twitter and news report that you have partnered with the Chinese government national TV. So
I'll try my best, Mr. Chair, to answer only answers that I know personally, Mr. Chair.
And you have no knowledge of that.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So how do you serve as counsel when something such as big between two networks cooperating and you have no knowledge of it whatsoever? I don't understand how that relationship works. Kasi
Because I'm not
kung
county lawyer,
mo
Mr.
sabihin
Chair.
na may kinalaman sa dalawang korporasyon at ikaw ang abogado, hihingi ka ng legal advice, legal opinion, due diligence, bago pumasok sa anuman kasunduan. Inamin mo kanina na ikaw ang legal counsel for the past
Yes,
3 years.
But I am not the
At
only legal
Dito
counsel, Mr.
lumabas
Chair.
sa kayo na mismo ang naglabas ha, hindi lumabas ng iba. Na merong kasunduan ang inyong dalawang network. So gusto ko pong malaman kung ano pong ang kasunduang ito.
The best person to answer that, Mr. Chair, is the president of SMNI, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we will take note of that statement and we will call for another hearing this week. Since magalang naman yung ano niya, I hope he's well by then.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
So everything that you do not answer, we will bring up in the next hearing. Let us be clear, huh? And more questions. So I suggest, kung alam niyo naman po, para matapos na po yung issue. Okay.
Based on my information, Mr. Chair, the agreement with the Chinese company is not SMNI or the Suarasug, but it's SMNI Foundation. That's a different company, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So insofar as it's SMNI and alam niyo pwede
And
na lang
it's-
pong
and-
Attorney Tolentino, pwede niyo na lang pong pagsalitain yung bumubulong sa inyo. Pwede po namin i-recognize para mas madali.
I'm the one authorized to talk in behalf of SMNI, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So again,
So the agreement with Chinese company, based on my information, Mr. Chair, is not yet concluded, Mr. Chair. It's still in the process of negotiation.
so is there any documents that would legitimize your statement?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will submit that next session, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So please submit it to us. So what you're saying is number one, it's not SMNI Suarasug,
Yes, but SMNI Foundation, Mr. Chair.
but in the news articles that I've read, there was a statement that there will be shared information and production and other shows. So ano pong lalabas doon?
That's why, Mr. Chair, we will submit all available documents, Mr. Chair, if any, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Suarez is, thank you very much. I'd like to ask the COMSEC to please acknowledge first our guest before we proceed to the next interpreter. There are members who arrived today. Please.
With the permission of the chairman, the following members are also present in today's hearing. Minority Floor Leader Marcelino Libanan, Representative Jose S. Aquino II, Representative Margarita Ignacia Nograles, Representative Ivan Howard Ginto, Representative Joseph Gilbert Biolago, Deputy Minority Leader Franz L. Castro. We also have Representative Jefferson Conghon. Your honors.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the Committee of Franchise. The next interpreter is the Vice Chair of the committee, the Honorable Johnny Pimentel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As stated by the chairperson, Honorable Gaston Bunting, the Committee on Legislative Franchises will pursue its mandate to deliberate on matters referred to its jurisdiction relating to the granting, amendment, extension, or revocation of legislative franchises. In proceeding with this mandate, the committee will exercise its oversight function to determine whether or not the laws passed upon it are being implemented and carried out in accordance with the intent of Congress. This authority is expressly provided under Article 6, Section 21 of the Constitution, which provides that the Senate or the House of Representatives or any of its respective committees may conduct inquiries in aid of legislation in accordance with its duly published rules of procedure, and the rights of persons appearing in or affected by such inquiries shall be respected. The committee is presently conducting this hearing upon the initiative of the proponents to look into the franchise of Suarasug Media Corporation and determine whether the terms and conditions therein are complied with. We invited relevant government agencies, the grantee and stakeholders to assist us in proceeding with the investigation, as we will give all parties the opportunity to present this committee their respective position on the matter in adherence to due process. The committee will not suppress any rights, nor will endeavor to intimidate our guests and resource persons that we invited purposely to assist us in pursuing our mandate. Kami po ay narito para bigyan linaw ang mga issue patungkol sa pagsunod sa mga batas na ating pinasa sa Kongreso para sa ating serbisyo bayan. Let me cite the affirmation from the Supreme Court that a franchise right is a special privilege and certain conditions are imposed particularly to safeguard it against abuses. The committee is being criticized of zeroing in on the statements of anchor person Eric Celis regarding the travel expense of the speaker, which we have established to be inaccurate. And Mr. Celis even admitted that he did not verify the information he received. Let me clarify that we are not focusing on this matter, and the committee is also considering other issues in reviewing the franchise of Suarasug. The grantee asserted that it already obtained a vested right by virtue of the franchise grant and cannot be taken away without due process. But may I also remind you that the very franchise recognized the authority of Congress to amend, alter, or repeal the grant when the public interest so requires, and this hearing is being conducted to accord the grantee the opportunity to address the call for the revocation of the franchise. Mr. Chair, during the last hearing, we deliberated, we discussed on the possible violations of Suarasug on their franchise, Republic Act 11422, especially on sections 4, responsibility to the public, section 10, sale, lease, transfer, grant of usufruct or assignment of franchise, section 11, dispersal of ownership, and section 12, reportorial requirement. Now, on this hearing, in this hearing, let me expound, Mr. Chair, on section 4, because as I see it, Mr. Chair, it seems that SMNI has a pattern of harassing individuals and entities using false informations. I sincerely believe that SMNI is being used as a tool to spread false information with regards to attacking, maligning, destroying the reputation of certain individuals and entities. Kaya nga, Mr. Chair, in this hearing, I would like to establish, or rather hopefully establish, itong pattern ng sex, or rather serial harasser. Mr. Chair, upon research for the past few days, we have found out that SMNI or Suarasug, for that matter, is facing several cases, not only in the courts, but in KBP, MTRCB, NTC, and other bodies. I have in my possession some of the cases, Mr. Chair. One, Concepcion, Empeño, Erlinda, Catapan, and Cristina Palabay versus Suarasug Media Corporation. Docket number case number 2022-027. It was filed at the National Telecommunication Commission on June 2022. The complaint arises from an SMNI broadcast featuring an interview with Palparan conducted by Lauren Badoy. In this interview, allegations were made associating Vice President Robredo, suggesting an alliance with CPP, NPA, and DF. The broadcast specifically referred to the Bicol region as being infested with such affiliations. Number 2 case, Alfonso Tomas Atom Pagaduan Arroyo versus Jeffrey K. Eric Celes and Lorraine Marie Badoy Partosa. Docket number R-QZN-23-08237-CV. It was filed at the RTC Quezon City Branch 306 on September 11, 2023. The episodes mentioned in SMNI accused Arroyo of being a member of the CPP, NPA, NDA, producing documentaries and participating in activities detrimental to government efforts. Case number 3.
Ayan na po mga kababayan, papunta na po yan doon sa itutuloy nila yung hearing tungkol nga dyan sa Smni, no? Atin po dito nakita na ayan nga po ay nangyari nga po dito ano na talagang na-cite in contempt mo ito si Ka Eric, mga kababayan. So ayun po siya, dinala na po siya doon ng mga Sergeant at Arms no ng Senado. So ayan mga kababayan, antabayanan po natin kung anong further development ito. Ito po kasi mukhang itutuloy ito about na yan sa prangkisa na talaga ng Smni. At nako, no? Medyo napakarami na po ng mga nagko-comment dito. Bago pa sumabog ang inyong mga kalma po, inom tubig po mga kababayan. Mukhang matindi na po ito, ano ho? Pero ganun talagang buhay. Ganun talagang buhay. Minsan parang hindi natin maintindihan. Pero hayaan niyo po, no? Ako po ay naniniwala naman na uusad din po ang tamang hustisya rito. Kung sakasakali man, sa tingin ko lang, no? Sa tingin ko lang, hindi pa naman yan tapos, no? At siguro baka mayroon mamaya, no? Lalabas dito at yun nga ay makakasagupan na nila dyan na sasagot sa kanila na isang abogado na talagang pag nagsalita, isang firm, no? Katulad ni siguro, Attorney Roque or Attorney Panilo. Yun ang ating inaabangan mga kababayan. Pag yun na po ang pumunta dyan, ano ho? Tingnan natin kung ano po ang mangyayari. Kasi nakita ko na yan si Panilo, Attorney Panilo, nung mga hearing pa nung araw eh. Magsalita yan talagang no? Buddy Ulinas, no, huwag tayong matakot, sabi niya. Wow, hindi naman tayo dapat matakot. Unang-una, isipin lang natin, hindi naman itong mga boss eh. Tayo naman ang mga boss eh. Mga trabahante lang ito natin. Sumusweldo ito sa pamamagitan po ng ating mga buwis, di ba mga kababayan? So relax po tayo, lalo na mga OFW. Relax lang po tayo, pero kahit ganun pa man, parang nakikita natin na parang medyo may pagka hindi ko naman sinasabing ganun na nga. Siyempre, lagi po tayo magkakaroon po ng benefit of the doubt, no? Hindi naman po tayo rito mga abogado. Kahit nga mga abogado, kailangan pa rin ng huwes, no? At hukom na mag-differentiate kung sino talaga at maghuhukom kung sino ang tama at ano ang mali, di ba? So ganyan po mga kababayan. Nakikita ko kasi mukhang gina-gina ang ating mga kababayan eh. Kaya mukhang kailangan na po natin anuhin. Isa lang po sana ako, ito lang ang aking masasabi nito mga kababayan. Siguro kung mayroong magpauso ng hashtag na hashtag open the book, pag siguro may magganyan, baka kumalat po yan sa buong no? Baka kumalat yan sa buong Pilipinas. At siguro pag sinabihan lang ni Tatay Digong na, sige, ito naman ano ko lang ba? O sige, pasyal tayo dito sa Luneta. Magkaroon tayo ng hashtag open the book. Ganon-ganon lang ba? Ewan ko siguro kung pupunta mga tao, may dalang placards na hashtag open the book. Di ba mga kababayan? Di ba? Siguro yun lang ang natin dyan. Relax lang po tayo mga kababayan. Ganun talagang buhay. Idaan po natin pa rin idaan pa rin po natin sa mahinahon na paraan. After all, yun pa na talaga ang gusto natin, yung maging maayos tayo, di ba? So kailangan natin yan, kailangan natin gumawa ng aksyon na mas matalino pa. Oo. Di ba? Mas mahinahon, mas matalino, at dapat nag-ano ka muna, no? Yan, hashtag open the book. Naku, pag mayroong na ganyan, lalo na pag si Tatay Digong, magpa-hashtag niyan. Tapos i-copy-paste at i-share-share ng mga tao yan. Naku po. Tapos sabihin ni Tatay Digong mamasyal ako doon sa sa Luneta, baka gusto niyong pumunta. Gusto nyong mag-meet and greet lang, di ba? Wala namang masama, di ba, ma-meet and greet sa Tatay Digong, ano mga kababayan? Kaya siguro ang dahilan, no, pagpunta natin sa circle kahapon, bagamat wala talagang organisado na nagsasabi na mayroon rally, marami pa rin ng mga pumunta. Abangan nyo mamayang gabi, after ng live ko, ay i-interviewin tayo ni kasamang Jojo de Guzman Kunik. Sir, nakakalungkot talagang nangyayari sa ating bansa. Martial law na ba? Parang gustong busalan ang mga hindi kakampi sa kanila. Nagtatanong lang po, sabi ni Julie Pitikan. Kaya nga, ano ho? Well, lahat naman tayo may mga kanya-kanya na po tayong nararamdaman ngayon. At sa tingin ko lang, no? Sa tingin ko lang, mayroon po talaga dapat isa rito na parang mag-lead. Parang may mag-lead dito ng isang panawagan na #OpenTheBook. Mayroon ng gano'n, no? Kasi tingnan nyo naman, 2.66 billion, nasagaan naman po yun, di ba? At yung isa nga, yung 1.1 billion, di ba dapat i-itemize din sa taong bayan na ano nga yun ni Senator Raffy Tulfo, di ba? Bakit wala yatang farther doon? Di ba dapat, wala ba silang diyan kasi sa Congress, in fairness, no, sa Congress at saka sa Senate, parang wala na tayo nakikita talagang, di ka mo kadati mga kababayan, na mayroon talagang kalaban, mayroong opposition, may administration. Ngayon lang ako nakakita ng ganitong Congress, kahit kay Tatay Digong, mayroon pa rin opposition, di ba? Mayroon pa rin kay Tatay Digong Kahit pa paano, nakakakita tayo ng, nababalance natin, di ba mga kababayan? Nababalance natin kung ito ba talaga ay tama o ito ay mali. Di ba? Kasi mayroong magkabilaang opinion, magkasulungat na opinion, magkasulungat na pananaw sa issue. So doon natin mag-distinguish kung, teka, may basihan ba sila rito? Ito ba ay tama? Ngayon, pag ganyan na parang iisa lang ang direksyon, parang hindi na natin malalaman kung alin dito yung tama. No? Ewan ko kung conforme kayo sa aking sinasabi na parang hindi ako kontento pagka wala tayong nakikitang oppositing part, no? Yung kabilang kasi yung magiging opposition kasi parang magsisilbi ito na para hindi naman kasi mga kababayan, hindi naman po lahat perfect Naniniwala ba kayo roon? Kahit gaano pa kagaling ang isang tao, hindi lahat magiging perfect ang kanyang gagawin. Mayroon at mayroon dyan pagkakamali. Ngayon, kung mayroon pong opposition, may magsisita, di ba? Kahit papaano, malalaman natin na mayroon palang mali. Kung paano kung ang isang direksyon ay papunta na pala sa kapahamakan, di lahat na tayo, di ba? Yun po yun mga kababayan. Kaya nga in-stop ko na muna kasi medyo tumataas na ang tensyon at tumataas na ang mga puso ng mga natin. Di ba? Tama, daig pa nilang sugado. Wala tayong magagawa kasi may mga karapatan sila dyan Naghihirap ang buhay ng mga Pilipino pero ang Kongreso puro pamumulitika ang inatupag. Kaya nga sana ano rin sila ng isang resolution, no? Patawag din nila doon doon naman sa Mindanao. Ano ba ang dapat gawin doon? Maggawa sila bumalangkas din sila ng isang resolution para makatulong po sila doon sa mga nasawi. At anong magagawa nila roon para maiwasan na yung ganon na magkaroon pa ng mga terrorist attack. Di ba mga kababayan? Oo, no? Wala ganun talaga. So, magantay na lang po tayo. Palagay ko siguro baka mayroong isa ritong manawagan na isang tao na nagsabi lang na ano lang ba. Magpasya lang dito. Ano lang tayo rito, kwentuhan lang. Marami sigurong pupunta. 'Di ba? Wala naman tayong sinasabing mag-rally or kaya hindi, wala namang ganun. Yung mamasyal lang ba, magkita-kita lang ba, lalo na sa Tatay Digong? Di daw alam ang sutulo, sabi ni Marites, no? Serbisyo ba ginagawa nyo sa perwisyo buong Pilipinas, sabi ni John Raulo. That's called abuse of power of act of the, sabi ni Buddy Ulinas. Ayan po, no to Pimentel. No to Pimentel next election, sabi ni Kate Lauron. Congressman lang naman yun doon sa kanilang lugar Oo. Kaya na nga po mga kababayan, medyo wag na po natin anuhin kasi wag na po tayong tapusin. Puntahan nyo na lang po ang Congress. Doon na lang po ninyo ituloy kung gusto nyo pong manood pa po. Ang sa atin lang po ngayon, tapos na po. Na-cite in contempt na po si Ka Eric. Nandun na po siya, hindi na siya pwedeng magsalita. Sabi nga doon sa hanggang hindi siya sumasagot doon sa tanong kung sino talaga ang source, no? Ay nasa cite in contempt talaga siya at doon muna siya, no? Sige po mga kababayan, maraming salamat po sa mga bumisita bagamat biglaan po ang ating ginawang pagla-live ngayon. Maraming salamat po sa aking mga moderator at sa mahigit 1,000 pong nandito na ating mga kasamahan. Salamat po sa mga nag-like, no ha? At salamat po sa walang sawa ninyong support. Ayan. 241 lang ang nag-likes, hindi nila nagustuhan. Ang viewers natin umabot ng 1,400. Ang nag-likes 242 lang. Di bali, ganun lang talagang buhay. Medyo nakakaano nga naman, no? Wala, kung nalungkot po tayo mga kababayan, bawi po tayo sa sunod. Baka naman meron tayong ibang no? Ayan. Ano sabi rito? Ayan, may mga comment din dito sa Facebook mga kababayan, no? Hindi ko na mabasa mga kababayan dahil mayroon po tayong lakad na importante. Okay? So salamat po sa mga nandito mga kababayan, sa sniper at aking mga moderator na iba. Sino bang mga nandito pa? Oo. Maraming salamat po muli sa lahat mga kababayan, mga kasulit. At syempre pa mga sulit DG Bantag supporters, mga Iskonians at mga DDS. Sama-sama po tayo mga kababayan. Labanan po natin ang mga tambaluslos at ito pong mga lab na lab ng pulburon ng mga sindikato mga kababayan. Ha? Labanan po natin yan. Kaya sa darating na 2025, ano pang hinihintay mo? Hinihintay ng lahat para sa ikatatiwasay at maubos yung mga tambaluslos. Maraming salamat po sa lahat mga kababayan. Una sa lahat sa Diyos at sa inyo. Ito muli si vmrchannel. Hanggang sa muli, magkita-kita tayo. Ngunit bago tayo mag-out, sa darating na 2025, ano pang hinihintay mo? Magbantag ka. At Yorme Iskomoreno, PRRD, Senator Bongo, Cuadro Alas, Senator Bantag na. Yan na. Bantag, PRRD, Isko, Bongo. Sa Senado sa 2025. Maraming salamat po muli sa inyo lahat. Magkita-kita po tayo. Bye-bye po. Ingat.